Hey y'all, what's up? It's Dime here for another episode of Mind Your Fashion. And I'm super excited for today's topic. I am really excited to, I don't know, talk about something that I literally had to do, right? So it's nothing like speaking from something that you had personal experience with. That said, if you're not familiar with the concept of Mind Your Fashion, essentially, that is a tie between the human behavior and fashion. So essentially, we're talking about the human behavior around your fashion choices, your fears, your fashion fears, I'll say, your fashion insecurities, meaning things that you wouldn't dare try, whether that be color, prints, textures. So, yes, that is all related to what my your fashion is and what I'll be bringing to you in different topics. So today's topic is literally called From Corporate Girly to Boss, and how to essentially style your pieces. So today, unlike the other episodes, if you've been tuned in and watching, I actually have visuals for you. So prior, it's been a lot of instruction, a lot of just talking to the camera. But today, I want to actually show you examples of how you'll be able to transition your wardrobe from a corporate girly to a boss. And then I'll also be touching on those of you who are Fed workers, government workers who are being forced. Unfortunately, I do. Sorry to y'all. Have to be forced to be in the office. I'm not sure how many days, so you might still be in the same boat as me. But regardless, I understand because I also did that, working from home 5 days a week, and then now having to come in 3 days. So it is a complete adjustment in terms of your style, and for some, how you do your hair. For me, I'm on tour, honey. I'm on a please F with me if you want to tour. So with that said, I'm wearing hair any kind of way, wearing color, cause what's up? However, don't take that from me. I am also in an area where that is kind of expected. If you're in more of a rural area, then that might not be the best, advice. However, that is the topic for today. So, with that said, class is in session. Stay locked in. Don't you go nowhere. Now, I want to jump into the mentality. That was something that I wanted to talk about, leaving the corporate world and going into entrepreneurship. Something that really shifted me in my mood, I have to say, when I left my corporate job back in 2022 was, and I had everything lined up down to like my savings. I had my days, what I thought anyway. I had my days planned out. I had, of course, outfits wasn't really a thing that I had to really like shift to because I always wore, chill clothes, very comfortable. And then for events, I put it on. So it was really that simple for me. But this is also a world that I'm already a part of, right? So for the longest, from 2015 to 2022, I had been what I call a 9 to 5 creative. So I did both. So to just do one full time, that wasn't much of an adjustment, right? So I would hope for a lot of you who are transitioning to the boss, you are someone who's been doing both. But there are some unique circumstances where maybe you were let go during all of that has been happening in our government, and you've been able to pivot, and you're finding your way, and things are turning up, you know, for you to where you're finding yourself in rooms and things of that nature. But I will say my shift for me was not realizing the importance of structure and time. So where I knew I had 8 hours to do what I needed to do at work, I am a pretty fast person when it comes to tasks. I didn't realize that once I had those maybe 3 tasks that I had outlined for the day, what else was I gonna do? Right. So I hope for those of you who are transitioning or have already transitioned and you're trying to figure out like, why do you feel lazy even though you feel like you're supposed to be doing this, this, and this? Rest assured, that it is a very interesting rather, transition to go from like the structured time, this expected time frame, to working when you're good and ready. So it has to be a lot of self-talk, a lot of what I would say, talk nice to yourself, because I was literally beating myself up if I didn't have like a jam-packed day. And then, as most people know, as an entrepreneur, like, you never know what one day is going to look like. It could be super busy to where you have no time to breathe, or you literally are sitting and you're like, so what's next to do? And as an entrepreneur, for the most part, is there things that you can always be doing? Sure. But for someone like myself that was in a creative space, it had to come. Like, I couldn't force it. It didn't feel organic. And I literally wanted to make sure for a change, once I transitioned, that I was in a position where I was able to allow things to simply flow and just be. Now you're in the mindset that you have your schedule, you're ready to go, and it's time to put it on. You got a meeting with a potential investor, and then you have a social or a mixer, some kind of networking opportunity that you are looking to do with some peers or some creatives that you found on social media. So you're trying to think, man, what can I wear? I have just the option for you. So for me, I suggest sets when it gets too complicated, especially for people who aren't necessarily into fashion, but they like to look cute. The easiest thing to purchase are sets. So this is a set from Shein that I wanted to show you guys. Trying to get it right. And I'll show you a picture of me in it. I want to figure out what I want to do with this mic. But anyway, so you see the skirt, it's pleated and a nice blouse. Um it gives the silk vibe, but you know it's not. I want to say polyester. My mom is really good with this stuff. So, okay, let me get this mic. You have this. So this is what you went and showed up to the event with. I mean, not the event, the partnership. You showed up to the potential investor partnership meeting with this on. You wanted to keep it very classy, right? So maybe you went with some of these, because not everybody is heels girls, right? So I pulled these out for those who love a little support. But my suggestion, since it's summertime, a little pop of color. Just saying, a little something. Not too high, appropriate still, but trendy, right? Because here's the thing. If you're in fashion, or you're in home decor, which is still a form of art, or you're an artist, there's things that your investors may pay attention to. Some people are just money people, so they don't care. But then you have other people who pay attention to your personality and how you present yourself. So a little pop of print in your shoe to not be too flashy in the outfit, I say go for it. But I'm a risk taker when it comes to fashion, and that's why you're here, right? Cool. So now it's time to go to your event with the people from Instagram. This top is also from Shein. So look at that pleat. It's still very feminine, very girly, breathable. And for people who know me, it's always going to be a statement sleeve if I can. Okay. I am not a florals girl. This is one of my first floral blouses where I was like, okay, cool. This works. So yeah, and I think it really was because of the sleeves and the way the blouse drapes, and also has this crisscross top in the front. So it's very cool, and it allows you the opportunity to have fun with your accessories. Now, this is me being me. I'm gonna pull these out with it. I'm a short girl, right? And for us short girlies, nobody wants to show up short all the time. Like, and I know we're in the era where everybody is wearing sneakers or flat events. And I've started doing it too, because one thing about it, I'm not gonna be sitting here with my feet hurting and everybody else cool standing up vibing because they came prepared. And as I get older, I'm just not interested. So this is the perfect look though for a networking event, right? Because most of the time you're going to walk in, turn some heads, and then you're going to go sit down, right? So this is the perfect example of putting it on. Now, there are sheer tops that some companies, and here's the thing, y'all, get a bodysuit. I know a lot of y'all got bodysuits from just going out. So those of you who are going back to the office, who know you have bodysuits, in your mind, you know it's a bodysuit, but they don't know. As long as it looks presentable, look at this, that hidden zipper, sexy, okay? But in the end, all of this is covered, right? So why not throw this on? And I got this top from Mika's, I think. Really good quality too. So I'm also going to be letting y'all know where I got pieces from in case you're interested. I got these pants. They still look very, sophisticated. You can look at the style of them. This is also something where I feel like you could have purchased this to go to a day party, right? So club wear, day party, put it together. With your black heels. And of course, we're going a little higher. These are my favorite ones, y'all. So they're a little beat up. Beat up bad. But I typically wear them to where the heel isn't showing or exposed. But these are my favorite Steve Madden heels, like hands down. So yeah, because the pants are wide and we need a little height, we're gonna put that together and boom, you have a look. And again, what I like about this is, that neck is up there, okay? It's up there, like ain't no cleavage in sight, but you still have some draping. I'm not gonna say it's sexy, but it keeps it cute in the office. And again, you get to layer here because this is like a canvas at that point, because what was or could be skin is now just mesh. So you have the opportunity to layer and do what you have to do. So this is fresh out of the box. Excuse the wrinkles, but you get the concept. I have yet to wear these. I'm really excited about them. I used to travel, for a lot of people who know, I used to travel a ton. And as a result of everything that's been going on with DEI, it's put a pause on travel for me since like April. And so I'm finally getting back into the groove and we'll be traveling in August. So I figured I will also test myself to pull out some pieces to show you guys. Now, a lot of people in their dress code don't allow jumpsuits, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, for me, I push the limit a lot. And I think it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. This doesn't look like your average jumpsuit. To me, it still looks very tasteful. Got a little animal print. It's fun, but essentially you're covered. And with a jacket on, it can look like it's just a set. And I think that's another thing. When people kind of figure out your style and say, oh, she wears sets, you got to implement it first, though, right? If they see something that's just the same print up and down, especially those hating girls, they might be like, so-and-so had a jumpsuit on today, but then if I wear it, they got something to say. So that's how you do it. You create a routine with the pieces that you pick. And then boom, out of nowhere, you incorporate a jumpsuit. And for me, although it is very much so consistently 90 plus degrees, I like this because it's breathable. And if your office is anything like mine's, it's still very, very cold. These are my go-tos. Everybody should have a pair. So if you're going back to the office and they say you misplaced them good old work shoes, those slide-ons, go replace them, girl. Go replace them. Another piece I believe that is imperative for everyone to have is like a bodycon dress. And I like this because it's very transitional. Y'all, I brought this dress to go to CIAA party in 20, what was that? A while ago. I brought this dress to go to a CIAA party. When I tell you the people that I work with love this dress down, and I don't know if it's the plaid, but if you think about it, what's the problem? What's the problem? It's long. It give you a little oomph, right? In terms of color, in terms of material, it gives a little spandex. It definitely stretches, but it ain't like it's form fitting. It ain't like you could see the indentation in the side or nothing like that. It's a perfect piece that I feel everyone should have. So outside of the print, you need a bodycon dress that isn't necessarily form fitting, but looks very flattering on your curves and stuff, and can go either place. You see, I've worn it out. Worn it out, baby. Shein. And I know a lot of people say Sheen. I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Going back to sex. Girl, I will cotton something up. A lot of these aren't welcome, right? So I think the other thing is to call out the strictness of your dress code at work, because I've worn this to work, super comfortable, wore a coat on top. You can easily accessorize this, dress it up or down. You can, like I said, after work, go somewhere else and it can do what it needs to do there. The focus here is looking at your wardrobe and trying to find pieces that will go from work to going out and being, more edgy and or interesting, so that it can be a conversation started, like, okay girl, I like what you got on, or oh that's cute. Like, that's the goal, especially as an entrepreneur, because believe it or not, those are your entryways to spark conversation and get to know people. A lot of times when I told somebody I was a stylist, I didn't jump out and say, hey, nice to meet you, my name is Dime and I'm a stylist. It was more so like, hey girl, I like that, where you get that from? And I'm just like, oh, I got it from so and so. And to be honest, I am guilty of not even mentioning that I'm a stylist. I'll just be like, and this is when I was an entrepreneur, I'll say, oh, I have it from my showroom. And then that is how the conversation started. And then we began to talk about all the different things that I do as a business owner. So be sure that something you're wearing is a conversation starter, because it just simply makes it easy to start connecting and networking. I believe every woman, if you don't have it, for those of you who are going back to the office, I want to say that you don't want to go back and look the way you did either. We want to show growth. So if you didn't have a nice pair of wide leg pants in a cool color, especially with the summer, you missing it. And I thrifted these, okay? They are express pants, but I thrifted these. So the tip here is, don't get caught up on, dang, like anybody got time to be spending all that money on clothes. Girl, if you don't go to the thrift store, go to the thrift store. And when I wore these pants, I actually wore it with this. I'm gonna show y'all a picture. And it was cute. Now, here's the last thing, y'all. As a business owner, because let's say, depending on your job, everybody doesn't need a suit, right? But I do feel like as you age, as you get older, and as you look to attain different positions, you want a suit to at least show up to that interview. But let's say you are or were in a position prior that you didn't need a suit. As a business owner, you need one. And I'm gonna tell y'all who be having clutch suits. And sometimes you don't even have to tailor them. H&M. I live by this. I got my little cleaner tag on here, because baby, I take care of this one. Let me actually take this off. Okay. Baby, I take good care. I take good care of this suit. And you know what? I've been telling myself, like, girl, it's time. It's time for you to get another suit, because this also has a wide leg look to it. The way it hits, baby. I've worn this to a costume party. I've worn this to a business meeting in Canada. I've worn just a jacket with something. I've worn just the pants. A suit is needed in your wardrobe from boss to corporate and corporate to boss. Like, it's just something that is needed and everyone should have one. Right. Study what people are wearing in your niche. So whether that is you going back in the office, what are the people wearing there? Like, what is it that you would kind of stick out? Now, granted, at my job, they can't dress. There's maybe 3 girls total that I'd be like, okay, and they consistent. And that's in addition to myself. So that said, there are some people who just show up at work and it's just like, I'm here. Because some people don't want to put a lot into work. So if you worked a job like that, where it was minimal effort, you got to wear jeans and stuff like that, and then now it's time to turn up because you're trying to meet people and you're trying to look like the boss that you are, there's a little bit more work for you to do. And so with that said, make sure that you kept in mind the nuggets that I shared about getting things like sets and getting those staple shoes. Get you a block heel, a pointed toe heel, a nice, nice size heel, like I guess medium. And then if you're short and you can walk, because that's all important, get a taller heel for those wide leg pants. Stuff too, because I'm gonna tell you, the wide leg pant just looks chic, effortless, and clean, especially when you wear the right top. So I've seen more so like dress shirts that people have paired with wide legs. I've seen more tailored tops with wide legs. So as long as it's cute and it works and it flows, that's the point. But the bigger point rather, is to make sure that you have wide legs, make sure you have a set, and make sure you have like a cute little dress that you could wear. So for instance, I have this piece here, and to some it looks super dressy, right? Because in my field, while we don't do a lot of dressing up at work, there are instances where you're meeting with certain superiors, and we know like the whole dress shirt collar thing is in. So I thought this would be cool to pull out, because when you want to dress up and put it on and let the people know what you're giving, but you don't want to do too much, I like stuff like this. A little shimmer, it ain't hurt nobody, because these are more so for your evening parties, things that happen after hours where not everyone gets invited to. So that is also a piece that you need to incorporate, because as people are getting called back into the office, I'm sure there'll be little things to kind of like smooth you guys over with the fact that they pulled you in. So if you're one of those people, the who's who gets pulled in the room or pulled to the event, you want to make sure you have a piece that you can wear to work and say, "Oh, she look cute today," but it's because you're going somewhere after and you're able to, look cute at work and then go to your event. Now, with considering your niche, I'm not saying look like them, right? At all. I'm not saying that. But I am saying consider what they're wearing so that it can almost give you a outline of what to look for when you're going to the thrift store, right? Because we're not saying that you have to OD. And then Shein, I know the tariffs are starting to do its thing. I haven't shopped with them since everything went into effect. But if you are looking to just do something local, you just want to get it out the way, you want to be able to try it on, especially if you're not someone who ever tried wide legs and you're trying to see like, does that even seem like something I would wear? I will say big, small, large. Unless you're like really, really tiny, I don't see nothing wrong with a wide leg. Now, again, super skinny girls, maybe a little bit more tailored. Like, for instance, these pants, they have a shape to them. Like, it's not extremely noticeable, but the waistline is in some, because it allows a more bubble effect to give you some shape. So for the skinny girls, if you're looking for the more wide leg pant, look for something with a little bit more shape so that it doesn't look like it's wearing you and you're wearing it. The important piece though here if you are still not sure, because sometimes it takes a closet audit from a stylist like myself, an image consultant, who is able to, one, tell you, hey, if you were wearing this back in 2022, the trends have changed. If you're someone who cares about trends, I don't. But if you're someone who cares about trends and you want to make sure that you show up, you look elevated, like, hey, y'all, I'm back. And there's things that you want to make sure you're not repeating, or things that you never wore to work that you now brought. Like, I'm gonna wear this to work. So you brought that, in 2020 when we were doing all the shopping, didn't have anywhere to go for real, but you were doing all the shopping. So yeah, get that stylist, that image consultant to go through that wardrobe, purge your wardrobe, see what it is that you actually like, see what actually looks good on you, see what you can do to spice up the pieces that you actually already have with what you did your hauls with, and see how many outfits that you can create. And with the stylist coming in, you're able to visually see that, so that when you wake up in the morning, you might not remember exactly how they put it together. And for me, I'm not telling you what I do so that you can remember, because you got to hire me. But I promise you, it'll be in your memory bank to kind of figure out how to piece different things together, because now you know that one thing doesn't have to go with this just because that's how you brought it initially. So have fun with your existing wardrobe and the new things that you purchase. Be sure to get things like accessories for those who are going from corporate to boss, because really, I think anything can be worn in a different setting. Just make it sexy. For instance, these pants, like this belt, these are all things that can be elevated extremely up. But I threw on this hoodie because I'm me. So it wouldn't be me and my street girly self to not throw off the look and make it a little bit more fun. I did have a different outfit on. That's neither here nor there. But the point is, there's so much that you can do with your pieces. And that's the whole point that I'm making around the importance of playing with your clothes and seeing what you have, throwing it all on the bed almost, and saying, okay, so what fits? What doesn't fit? Today, I hope you now are aware of just how much you really do have in your wardrobe. Even if it's something that you went out with, it's something sometimes as simple as adding a denim jacket. And again, this is per your dress code for your organization. You can throw on a denim jacket. That's something that I do all the time. I definitely wore this two-piece. It was a crop and everything. I pulled that thing up, pulled this down, put a jacket over it. But why did I do that? Because I knew I was going to a social. Nobody has time to change. I brought my shoes. I had the work shoes. They were some slides. Not these to be exact, but they were similar. And that looks like a work look. I changed my shoes. I took off my denim jacket. And now I look like you get what I'm saying? So it's all in your accessories and your shoes. And really less about the actual clothing when it comes to layering and portions. That's something to learn. But again, these are little tidbits to interest you to have a consult with me. So if this is something that sparked your interest and you're interested in learning more about how to transition from corporate girl to boss, and you want to also get a few more tips as someone who's going back in the office, how to incorporate some new things and look like the new you when reintroduce yourself to these people that you probably haven't seen in 5 years, call me now. All right, y'all, I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Share this with someone you know who is looking to spice up their wardrobe. And it's not something that they want to be like stressed out about it. It's not too intense. They just simply want to add some pieces, because guess what? I am a virtual stylist, right? So I will see you guys next week. It'll probably be different content. I'm thinking I'm going to do every other, because I'm also working on becoming a photographer. So I'm brushing up my skills So there'll be different things that I start showcasing and or talking about. You know, this channel is about lifestyle, fashion, and travel, hair, beauty, all the things. So that said, it won't just be about this, but I figured maybe the schedule would be like every other week. So next week you'll have the opportunity to catch up on the other 3 episodes maybe. And by then I'll have a new upload on something around something else. I'm still brainstorming. I feel like I'm going to design something, but you have to stay tuned and come back. Peace till next time.